Erin, just be there for a second. Let me see where we are here. All right, I've stolen Erin's soul. All right, so obviously this is way too much light. I don't have the other lights going, right? So I can go back into into A2. Or I'll start at 4.5. Hang in there, Derek. All right, I can't go too far. Sir, would you walk towards me, please? Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, that'd be great. All right, yeah. Okay, so just quickly, if you're working informally by yourself, as we oftentimes do, perfect. We got to kill that B light. All right. Okay, let's open the eyes. Okay. Happiness. Exude happiness. Yes. All right. There we go. Nice. Perfect. That's great. And as the light's a little hot, so take it down. Perfect. Okay. And so now it's a blend of a, you can have a seat, sir. Christy, could you get in front of my lens, please? Sure. So that's a blend of, I mean, this is as simple as it gets. The camera's on aperture priority, right? I'm letting it just kind of tell me what it feels like, you know? What's the weather in here? Whoops. I always leave the vertical grip hot, and then fantastic. That's great. You look great.
Thank you.
Good. You know, and so, on a quick situation, are you going to argue with that? You know, if I take the flash away, I kill everything. That's aperture priority, you know, and she's just kind of flat, you know, a little bit, you could get away with this too. I mean, here's the thing, gang. You launch into Photoshop, you could probably kind of gussy this up quite nicely. But is it sharp? I'm at, where am I here? I'm at a 25th of a second. We're working really fast. So if I want this to have some measure of assurance that it's going to be sharp, I'm going to mix in a little flash. Because always remember, you could be at a 25th of a second on the camera. The flash is firing at like a 1500th. So Erin, could you go overhead here a little bit? And Christy, kind of look at me in a formidable fashion, kind of like I'm a graduate student who just turned in a bad paper. Okay? All right, good. That's great. Wow. Oh.
I have only brothers. You have to have a look.
That's fantastic. And you do actually have a look. So, yeah, I mean, let's take it down just a little bit. Okay? And, I mean, is it distinctive? Is it courageous? Is it, exemplary or groundbreaking? No. But if you're, got your back up against the wall, or say somebody is hiring you to do a convention of people, and you need to run around and, it doesn't get easier. It really doesn't get easier. All right, cool. All right, thank you, Christy. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And I could walk, if I didn't have the tether on, I could walk through the crowd right now and just kind of pop away and make minute adjustments as I go. I could put the ProPhoto light on TTL. And then I would fly on TTL and aperture priority, and basically I'm surrendering control at that point. I'm just saying, okay, here you go. You expensive machine, you tell me what to do. So it's fantastic, right? We live in an age where, yes, it's never been easy to be a photographer, and I understand the problems, but we also live in this wonderful era where the technology is facilitating our imaginations to a great degree, and we're able to work more freely and more fully with less gear than ever before. So, all right, Derek, here we go. Stay right there. So, see where you are? Walk over here, but keep your hands and your fingers exactly the way you are. Come, please. Thank you. Thank you. All right, now turn towards me and just look at me sort of contemplatively. There you go. Come in from the side. That's a really nice portrait, actually. It's a really nice picture. You know, it's you, man. It's you. You got this magnetism. It's like you're like the camera. You're like a siren on the shore for the camera. Come and photograph me. Anyway, yeah, stay right there. Let's do a wrap. Let's just come around as a wrap. Okay, now that's going to be a problem. Can anybody guess why? You know, so I went from no hitting the glasses to bingo. You know, so let's do this. Let's tip this down. Stay right there. That's great. Just like that. Stay with me. Cool. Awesome. Now, his hand is too big. I have to drop your hand. All the way, please. Thank you. That's it. Chin down just a tiny bit. Great look. Okay. And, I mean, I'm not caring about my background right now. You know, I'm just trying to put out some quick things, okay? You can move and shoot. You really can, you know? So I really like that. There's a little bit of distortion, right? I'm pretty close to him with a 1728, but there's distortion and then there's purposeful distortion. And I would regard this as purposeful distortion because he's really got this, he's dominating the frame. And you know, there's no question about that. This man is the star of the show right here, right now. So remember that a little bit. You can have a seat or walk off if you want to.
Two more shots.
2 more shots. Oh, okay. So now I'm working for Derek. It's okay. It's all right. All right. Okay. Let's do this. Beautiful, beautiful. Come on. There we go. All right. So why did I do this? This is called tabletopping. If I go full tabletop, it's like that. I call it Goodfellas light. Anybody remember the famous movie poster? It's like, you talking to me light? That kind of thing. It's a flat overhead. The tabletop light accumulating shadows in the eyes. And that's purposeful. It speaks a language. You know, if I put up a nice big umbrella and photographed Derek and he was like, hi, I'm Derek and everything's cool. That's a different kind of light. That's kind of like, I don't know, maybe Facebook profile light or something like that. You know, or resume light. It's very different doing a character portrait and a resume portrait. And the difference lies in the light and the way you stage and angle that light and bring the subject into the frame. All right, there's character to all of this. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, I'm gonna back off here a little bit. Now I'm at 28 mil. Okay, that's pretty nice. Now, if I want to do something different, drop your hands, please, Derek. And let's come under, like right here. Right like that. Okay, and I want you to look at me like you're a mob boss and you're about to rub me out. Now I'd have to feather this a little bit, right? I'd have to maybe put a little scatter or scrim over this type of thing and get it away from his forearms. I can maybe, on the fly, I might be able to adjust that by just doing that. That's beautiful. And see the forearms disappear? That was a move of what, 5 inches? You know? So you just kind of, I don't know, it's like playing a sport, exercising a muscle. You have to do this. You have to keep doing it, right? And you just get more intuitive about what you're gonna, you know, what the next step is. You know what's the hardest part of a job oftentimes? Is not so much what I'm doing right now, it's what I'm gonna do next. Because the client is there like, okay, now, okay, that looks good. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know exactly where we're going. And I have no freaking idea whatsoever. You ready? Okay, cool. Let's go this way, follow his face, right there. Cool. All right. That's pretty nice. You could tone down the forearms and this and that, or you could just back off just a tiny bit. Give that to me again, please. Now, I wish I was managing my backgrounds better. Could somebody actually, I'm just a little late to think of this, could we just sweep that light out of here? It's got a sandbag on it, so be careful. Thank you very much. All right, so now, let's do this. I'm at 30th. So I'm going to take my aperture priority, and this is as you see fit. I mean, a lot of photographers would look at me now and say, aperture priority, how could you? You're not in control. Well, I trust the machine. If I'm not using this machine in a somewhat quote unquote risky way, it's like buying a Lamborghini and only driving it to church on Sundays, I mean, you might as well just let this puppy out for a little romp, So let's do this, okay?
Same pose?
Same pose, yes, please. You look great. That's fantastic. A little too much. I tell you what, flip it, please. And come from 3/4 back. No, that's too much. Sorry, Aaron. All right, flip, flip, flip. Back it up, there we go. Pan this way. Now when I'm pulling this light, that's not really a light move. That's called feathering. So I'm going to feather it off of his face, so the main flow of the light is going to go past him. Okay, raise up and angle down. Thank you. Better, better. Now, if you put a little fill board over here, something like that, kick a little light back onto this forearm, etc., then you're starting to, just maneuver light with intention, right? I would submit that just putting up a big umbrella for Derek here is not lighting with intention, because that's not his light, right? You have to sort out, I know exactly how I'm going to light that person. Because their face, everything speaks to you. I love faces. I love human beings. I'm curious. I just like, I could spend a day, just on the New York City subway looking around to see if faces. Yes, Levi.
Would you hit him with an 85 or something different?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've just been moving pretty fast. I mean, the different language that I could speak with this right now, if I can approach the stage. All right. So now, Mike. Oh, there you are. Or Christy, can we grab that light back in, please? All right, you can relax for a second. How about a round of applause for Derek and Christy? Aaron. All right, so, okay. That is a warm gelled light, CTO, right? So Christy, let's swing it. Derek, could you take your pose? Yeah, there you go. Okay, oof. Go push back. Okay, nicely done. That's great. Okay, cool. Stay right there, please. And actually, sorry. Go that side with it. Yep. And come from the light here. Now I have 50, and I'm going to take this guy and put this into, let's call it 1,000th of a second at f2. That means I'm going out of aperture priority, going into manual. Here, let's call it, I don't know, let's just take a stab at 800th of a second. Okay, and is that light hot?
It's at 6.2.
It's at 6.2, okay. All right, cool. All right, great look. Okay, that has real promise. So I need to goose this main light. It's only at 3.6, so I'm going to take it up to 5.5. That's beautiful, way to go. All right, so that's 1.2. Let me drop here. I'm in 3D, so I'm going to get out of that. I'm going to put a small cursor right on his eye. Okay, let's do this. This is the lens that fell before. Yeah, okay. Let me take a look at my computer.
Let's you check Tether. Let's check Tether. I think Tether working.
Oh, so you mean I might be looking at the same photograph? I knew that.
Joe, will you come back in?
Oh, you're not. It fell out, Joe.
Oh. I thought All right, here we go. All right. Okay, cool, cool, cool. There we go. It's nice, right? Pretty nice picture. Good character study, you know, and very sharp. Let's do that again. Now, you know, I've got a little juice left in the lights, so I could do, if I wanted to, just to, you know, for control purposes, if I go to 2000 at f2, then I'm going to take a guess and put my B group light up by, let's bring it up to 7.5, and let's bring up my main to like 7. See what happens. Why am I doing this? A little more control. Did that change?
It changed. Your background dropped in power.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what I'm trying to do is crush the background. You know, if I haven't got access to a black backdrop or something like that, or something moody or a painted backdrop, you know, I'm at f2, so you can't really tell what that is. It's just a glimmer. It's just a glimmer. Now, if we turned around, Christy, would you rotate with me? Rotate. So once again, I'm going to go into a small area of autofocus and drop that because right on the eye. And that's because I was at 7.1 and not f2. Makes a difference, don't you think?
Better because I was a black guy.
All right, here we go. Derek and I are having a moment up here, and he just looked at me and said, "It's not because I'm black, right?" You know? And I'm like, "No, man, I can handle it. I can deal." You know? Yeah. And again, his hand is a little big in the frame.
Bring it down.
Let's bring it down and get a little bit too much light on it.
Steve Jobs or whatever that was.
All right.
On the expo.
That's pretty nice too, actually. You know, let me just turn this on here, and my vertical grip. All right. So for that, for an exposure like that, where there's hands involved, I'm going to probably bring Aaron around a little bit. Stay. Don't move. Come this side. And right on him. Let's go right on him. Perfect. Pitch down just a tiny bit. Also quite nice. Now, am I not firing that?
No, it's fine.
It's just firing past him. It's not really in the... move forward a little bit. Thank you very much, Derek. Right there. Good. Nice. Good job. Can we flip, Christy? Because classically that light now has to be over here. So the thing about this, and I'm gonna jump off of this in just a minute, but the thing about this is you can't be afraid to keep making adjustments. Adjust on the fly is the name of the game. That's a little too forward. What I was just saying to Christy, it was a little too forward because if a 3/4 backlight comes forward of your subject's shoulder, what's gonna happen is the nose will get clipped. Right? You get a hard light across the nose. You want this light to be, and I don't know if it's good English or not. I just, you know, been using the term for 30 years. You know, 3/4 back, mean kind of 45 degree back in this neighborhood, going to come off the top of the head and shoulder. All right, perfect. You're awesome. Hang in there. Stay with me. All right, so now that light is a little too bright. So we'll take it down, about a stop. Perfect. All right, a couple more. Good expression. Think about expression. That's good. That's it. Oh my God. Yep, here we go. Stay with me now, stay with me. All right. Derek, bring it in. Thank you. You'll be good. So that was an exercise not just in light, it was also an exercise of simpatico and human relationships, right? I mean, it just is. And that is when you have a subject and you're trying to drive towards something, that relationship is all important. You make them feel good about being in front of the camera. Like Derek is easy, right? That you know, he's comfortable, you know, within himself. So, but most people, what do, right? We're like, what do I do with my hands? You know, oh, yeah, yes, sir. Well, let's try for an interpretive portrait, you know, because the checkered tie and the plaid shirt's really working. So how about you put your face down on the desk? No, those are inside words, you know. Those are inside words. You don't go there, you know. I've always wanted to do this, you know, with some sort of, you know, Mr. or Mrs. Big Shot walks in and says, you've only got 3 minutes. And in my head, I'm going, let's do it in 2, because you're just that interesting. Anyway, all right. So how much time do I have?
You have like 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. And yeah, because we're going to have to clean this equipment off. Does anybody have any last minute questions? Yes?
So I use gels in our portrait work all the time.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question why you chose to use like a CTO gel versus like an orange gel?
Yes, because orange CTO is color temperature monitored, right? So it's going to give you a true tungsten balance, or roughly true tungsten balance, out of a daylight flash. Orange is just orange. You know, and that's why I call it, I travel with a color correction pack and I call it a theatrical pack. So the color correction will correct CTB, color temperature blue, you know, for fluorescence, which is not as much of a concern as it used to be. And then also various degrees of warmth, and also ND, neutral density, if I get myself stuck. Though you rarely get yourself stuck now with modern strobes, because they can ratio downwards a great deal. And then I have my theatrical if I want to go Dr. Frankenstein on somebody, you know. Anybody else? Question? Street lights. That brings a good point. I give this to you. You will take it to heart, and you will remember me someday 10 years from now. If you're out on the street, say your assignment is to photograph some, I don't know, murder mystery author or something like that, and back alley stuff, right? You know, and so you take that person out onto the mean streets, and it's sort of semi-deserted, and you've got street lights in the distance, and maybe a blinking, you know, red light in the distance, and you put them on the street corner, and you light at that instance, kind of mimicking the street light effect, a little bit hard, a little bit edgy, maybe a rim, this and that. But if the background gets really dark on you, and there's no traffic and whatnot, take your car, drive to the end of the block, turn it around and bounce it up on the sidewalk at 45 degrees to your camera, just like a pool shot. Angle of incidence, angle of reflection is a very powerful access. It will really, really radiate into your camera. Take gels, red gels, tape them over your headlights, put on the high beams. It'll light the whole block. You know, you can go out there with one flash and light somebody and light a whole block with your car headlights. You know, there you go. Yeah, yeah. How about a little thank you? Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. If you go out, you know, brick, concrete are highly reflective. Why do you think everything's wet in the Hollywood movies? They come in with a water truck, because you pick up a stop and a half off of the pavement if you wet it down, you know? And I've worked with FDNY a great deal. They're great people to work with. They're fantastic. And you want to they've called me up over the years and like, hey, you know, we got a new truck, and you know, and so I always respond. And you know, you pull the truck out on the street, FDNY blocks the street off and hoses the whole thing down. I'm like, yeah, can you guys come with me everywhere? All right, so I think we should probably wrap up because we got lunch coming in. Thank you very much for coming.